In this video, we will be studying about various list operations and how to do list traversal. Now we'll be studying about the following operations on list. The first operation that we'll be studying about. Now the first operation that we'll see is concatenation operation. The second is repetition. The third is membership, and fourth is slicing. By seeing these four operators, it should be clear to you now that list works almost the same way as string, right? Because with string also we had all these four operations which we have studied in detail in previous sessions, right? When we studied about the data types in Python, you remember we have studied about sequences. Now under sequence there are three data types that is defined in Python. The first one was string, the second one is list, and the third one was tuple. So you should understand all these three has some striking similarity. So which means that if you're good with string operations, you can apply most of the techniques that you study with string directly over list. And the same technique also works with tuple. Now we are going to start with list. In the next chapter we will study tuple. So some of the concepts that we are going to see will repeat in all the three, right? In string, in list, and tuple. So now the first operation, concatenation, you can see this is done by using a plus operator. Now if you have a list called list1 and you concatenate it with list2, so this will create a big list with all the contents in list1 comma all the contents in list2. It will just join the content of list1 to list2 and produce a bigger list. So that is the job of concatenation operation. Now you should understand we can use concatenation operation only between two lists. Okay, so on the left side you should have a list and the right side you should have another list. If you try to concatenate a list, for example list1 with a string value, for example string 1, then this will give an error, right? You cannot do this. So now we can see this is concatenation operation is used to join two lists using the operator plus. Now we can only join a list with another list. Okay, so please be careful about that. Both sides the operand has to be of same data type. Now next is repetition. Now repetition is used to replicate the given list n number of times using star operator. So if you write list1 into 6, then it will repeat the content of list1 6 times and it will create a big list. Now under membership operation there are two functions defined. The first one is called in and the second one is called not in. Now these two functions can give true or false based on whether a value is available in list or not. So this function will check if an element, that's a value, is present in a list using in and not in operator. Just keep in mind that in operation can either return a true or false, and not in also can either return a true or false. After that we have slicing operation. Now we have discussed this in detail in string. So this is used to cut a list into smaller pieces based on the index value that you provide inside this operator. So it is used to get a portion of list using the correct index values. So now let us see each of them in detail. Now we will study each operator by taking an example, then things will be clear to you. So this program is used to demonstrate the concatenation operator or the plus. So I have created list1 with these elements. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.5 and high. So that is stored into list1. 6, 7, 8.99. Hello, this is the content of list2. After that I am concatenating list1 with list2. Okay, so what will happen? It will create a big list with all the values of list1 in the beginning. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 and high will be there. After that it will put a comma. Then it will continue with the element of list2. So it will have 6, 7, 8.9, 9 and hello. And now this big list will be stored into list3, and afterwards when you print list3 you can see the result will be as shown here. So now let us run the program. So now our program is ready. Now let me run it. So here you can see this is the output of list 3. As expected, you can see the initial part is copied from list 1. Afterwards you have a comma and then you have list 2. So this is how you can combine two lists to create a bigger list. Okay, so now let us continue. Now in this program we will study how to use a repetition operator or the star operator. So we have a list called list 1, and inside list 1 I have two strings, okay, lens and learn. So two elements are there in this list. The first element is word lens and second element is word learn. Okay, so this is stored into list 1. After that I am using the repetition operator with value 3 on list 1. So now it will repeat the content of list 1 3 times. So it will create a list with lens comma learn, then it will put a comma, again it will add lens comma learn, again it will put a comma, again it will add lens comma learn, and it will stop. Now this big list will be stored into list 2, and afterwards you can print list 2 and see the result for yourself. So now let us run this. Okay, so our program is ready. I'll just execute it. Now you can see list 1 is getting repeated 3 times and it is stored into list 2, and when you print list 2, this is the result. Okay, so let us continue now. Now in this program we try to demonstrate the membership operation with list. Now I told you there are two operations discussed in this. The first one is in and the second one is not in. So in can return true or false and not in can also return true or false. Now let us see the program, then it will be clear to you. First I have created a list 1 with two words inside it, lens and learn. So that is stored in the list 1. Now in the first print statement, let us see what is the result. So here we have the membership operation in, and now in is checking whether word learn is in list 1. So here you can see in list 1 we actually have this word learn. So in will return true. So that will be the output of this print statement. Now in the second print statement, you can see I am checking whether the word hi is in list 1. Now you see inside list 1 I have only lens and learn. There is no word hi, right? So this will return false. Now this I have just printed to separate in and not in. Okay, so third line is not important to us. Now the fourth print statement, here I am checking whether the word learn is not in list 1. So that's a reverse logic. So I am checking whether learn is not available inside list 1. But you see learn is available. So this not in function will return false. Now the last print statement, it is trying to search hi whether it is not available in list 1. You see this is true because hi is not in list 1. So this will return true. This membership operation is not used inside a print statement. It will be used inside an if condition check. We have such examples coming, then you will clearly understand how this membership operation can help to solve some problems really easy. So now let us run this program. So our program is ready, so let me just run it. So here you can see this is the output. So first in membership operation is checking whether learn is available inside this list. So you can see it is available here. So in will return true. So that is why the first print statement is printing true. The second print statement, it is checking whether hi is available in list 1. It is not there, so it is printing false. Now not in is a reverse logic. So if it is finding learn inside the list, then not in will give false. If it can't find out, for example hi, if it can't find out hi inside the list, then it will give true. So that's the last true statement getting printed out. So now let us continue to the next program. Now this program is used to demonstrate the slicing operation. I do understand slicing operation is a little bit tricky, but if you understand the concept of slicing operation in strings very well, then we are just going to repeat the same method over here, right? There is no difference at all. Before we go to the slicing operation, let us first fix the index value for the elements inside list 1. So the first element 5 is available at index value 0. The second element 7 is available at index 1. The third element 8.9 is available at index 2. Then fourth element G is available at 3. 67 at index 4, 21.4 at index 5, and the last word lens is available at index 6. The total length of this list will be 7 because we have 7 elements inside it. Okay, so I will just write it here. Total length of this list is 7, but the index will start from 0 to 6. So now let us see how the slicing operator works on this list to cut this list into smaller pieces. Okay, so the first print statement, let's see how it works. Now here I am saying that the slicing operator has to cut starting from 1, so it will cut from here. Okay, starting from 7, starting from index value 1, and it should end at index value 7. Now we should understand, if I keep value 7 here, the actual slicing operation will be done at 6, one value less than what you give here. So it will just slice it over here. Okay, and then the output will be a new list. It will have only values like 7, 8.9, G, 67, 21.4 and lens. Okay, from list 1 to list 6. Now let us see the second print statement. Here I want to start at index value 5. So now slicing operator will start from here. And then I'm asking to go up till index value 11. But you see, we have only index up till 6. There is no index value up to 11. But don't worry, slicing operator is not going to give any error. It will just go to the last value of the list and it will stop automatically. So the output of this print statement is going to be 21.4 and the word lens. Okay, so this list will be created with 2 elements. Now in the third print statement, we have the index value given as 6 and 2. So here you see the first index value is bigger than the second index value. This is not valid inside slicing operation, but it is not going to give you any error. The output is going to be an empty list. Nothing will be inside it. Now the fourth print statement. So here again, see the first element or the first number inside the slicing operator is missing. I have given only the second value, which is 5. So if the first value is missing, it is assumed as value 0. Okay, so now the slicing operator will start at 0 and it will end at 4. So this print statement will print the result as 5, 7, 8.9, G and 67. So this will be the list created by this slicing operation. Okay, and the last print statement, you can see I have provided only the first value. The last value is missing. Now in that case, the last value is taken as end of list, the last element inside the list. So now the slicing operation will start at index 3 and it will go all the way up till end of the list. So this will create a list like G, 67, 21.4 and lens. That is the last element, so it will stop over there. So this is the list that is created by this print statement. So now let us run the program. Now our program is ready, so let me run it. So here you can see this is the output that we have got. It is according to the output that we have discussed in the slide, so I'm not going to explain it again. But you see the print statement in line 6 where we give index 6 and 2. Right, so I told you this is not a valid entry, so that is why you got a empty string over here. So the rest of the output is evident. So now let us continue to the next program. In this program also we are continuing our study with slicing operation. So here also we have the same list 1, but the slicing operation is different. So I'll just write the index value. Alright, so now let us see the first print statement. Now here you can see inside the slicing operation I have given 3 values. Okay, 0, 5 and 2. So 0 is the starting index where the slicing should start. So I will start from here. And 5 is the ending index where the slicing should stop. So it will actually stop at 4, not at 5. Okay, as we have studied before. And what is this 2? 2 is the step value. Okay, so here you can see that's a step size. So when you fix the step size as 2, so the output list will be created like this. So initially it will take the first value in the list, so 5 will be printed. Next it will add 2 to this index value. Okay, so 0, it will add 2 to this index value, so you will get 2. So now next the value at index 2 will be printed, which is 8.9. So right now you are at index 2. Now you will add another 2 to go to the next index value. So 2 plus 2, that is 4. So now you will take the value at index 4, which is 67, and will be written to the output list. And now you see you reach the end of the slicing operator. Now it will finish. So this is the list created by this slicing operation. It is not mandatory that you should give a step value. If you don't give this value, it is assumed as 1. So that is why in many of the examples we never give the third value. Slicing operation was actually assuming or taking the default value 1 for its operation. Now we will go to the second print statement. Now here we are going to work with negative indexes. So in that case I have just written the negative indexes for this list, starting from the right side, -1, -2, -3 up till -7. So this value 5 is available at index -7. Here the slicing operation has to start at -6. So it will start at here, -6, and it has to go up till -1. So it will not go up till -1, one value before that. So it will slice here. So actually the value that we are going to see is between -6 and -2. So this will produce a list with value 7, 8.9, G, 67, 21.4. Now in the third print statement, we are using the slicing operator with 3 values. You can see here there are 2 colons and followed by that 2. So the first 2 values are default values. So the first value, the starting index, the default value will be taken as 0. And the second value, that is the ending index, the default value will be taken as end of list. Okay, and you see the step value is 2. So now you can start at the beginning of the list and it will go up till the end of the list. Okay, and every second term will be printed out. So in the output, 5 will be there. After that it will be 8.9. After that it will be 67. After that it will be lens. Okay, now the list has terminated. So this will be the output of the third print statement. Now the last print statement, this is used to reverse the order of a list. We have studied this when we see the string also, and during the program when I teach you how to find the palindrome, I have told you this is an easy way to reverse the string. By using the same mechanism, you can reverse the list also. The step value is -1. Alright, so -1 means it will start from here. So this will be the starting point and this will be the ending point, and it will add -1 to each of the index value to go backwards. So the output of this slicing operation will be lens, because that is available at -1, that is a starting position. Now it will add -1 to this index value, so that is -1, -1. So the answer is -2. Now I'll take the value available at -2, 21.4. Now it will do -2 with the step value -1. So the new index value is -3. So I will take the value 67, then G, then 8.9, then 7, then 5. Okay, so this will be the output of the last print statement. So if you give the slicing operator like this, then it will reverse the list and produce a result. So now let us run this. So let me execute the program. So here you can see this is the output that we are getting as expected. Now we can see the last print statement. You can see the content of list 1 is completely reversed and it is printed over here. So now let us continue. Now this program is for list traversal using a for loop. We have a next program coming where we will study how to traverse list using while loop. Okay. So here our aim is to just print the element of list one by one using for loop. Now there are 2 options. Now this is your first option, which is more elegant and small, and you can also get the same result by our second option, where you will be picking one element from the list and printing it. Okay, so now let's see the first option, because this is really simple and elegant. You can just write for item in list 1, because you remember when you study for loop, I can write here a sequence or range function. So now we are concentrating on this sequence. I told you list is a sequence, string is a sequence, and tuple is a sequence. So you can use a list over here. Okay, so it is valid. So now what for loop will do, it will take the first element from list and it will load into this control variable item. So 5 will be loaded into item first and then it will print the item. So 5 will be printed, the control will come back to 4 again. It will load the next element into item, then it will print it. So 7 will be printed below that, and after that it will load the third element, which is 8.9, and it will print it. So 8.9 will be printed. It will print up till last element in the list. So this is a first method where you can take individual elements from the list and print it. Or there is another way. So here I will work with the range operator. So range operator will take the value of length of the list. So here you can see the length of the list is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the index value goes from 0 to 6. So right now I am asking the range operator to work with length of the list. So the value is going to be 7. So if I write the range function with value 7, I didn't give the start value, right? So the default start value will be taken as 0. Then the step value default is 1. So it will keep on adding 1 to create the subsequent terms. So the next value will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. It will not go up till 7. It will stop at 6. So here you can see this range perfectly matches with the index value of a string or of a list or of a tuple, right? So that is why by default the Python creators have made the range operators to work like this, to start at 0 and stop at one value before the value that you provide inside the range. So this value will perfectly match with the index value of list, tuple and string that you're using inside your program. So right now the range operator works with value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the first value 0 will be loaded into I, and after that I am printing the value of list I. So first I will print the value of list 1 with index value of I. So the value of I right now is 0, that is index 0. So it is trying to print the value at index 0. So 5 will be printed out. Next time value 1 will be loaded into I. So now I will be trying to print list 1's value at index 1. So at index 1 you have 7. So that will be printed out. Now 2 will be loaded into I. So right now I will be trying to print the value available at index 2. So 8.9 will be printed. It will print up till the last word length, okay, and it will stop. Both of these methods can be used to print individual elements in a list using for loop, and I would say the first method is much more better and elegant. But if you want to work on the index value to create some kind of intuitiveness into your program, then you have to go with the second method. Now just to make things clear, let me just run this first method for you. Alright, our program is ready. I'll just run it. So here you can see my print statement is printing each elements inside the list until the list is finished. Okay, so the second method also will work properly. You can try it yourself. Now we will go to the next program where we will study how to work with while loop to extract individual elements in a list. Now as discussed, we are trying to traverse a list using while loop. So this is the same list. So this content is available inside list 1. Now with while loop, we have to work with index values. All right, so the index value I just write here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So now I will check whether I is less than length of list 1. Now what is the length of list 1? It is 7, right? Because it has 7 elements inside it. So this while loop will work as long as value of I is less than 7. So right now the value of I is 0, and we have our output here. So now I will just check this condition whether 0 is less than 7. It is true, right? So I'll come inside. Now inside while loop I have two statements. Okay, I'll come inside and then I will print the value of list 1. The current value of I is 0, so I'm trying to print list 1 value with index 0. So with index 0 the value is 5, so that will be printed out. Next statement will increase the value of I by 1. So the value of I will be changed to 1. Next I will check whether I is less than 7. It is true. I will come inside. I will try to print list 1 of I. So right now the value of I is 1. So now I will print the value 7, which is available at index value 1. Now the value of I will be increased to 2. Now I will check 2 is less than 7. It is true. I'll come inside. I will print the value of list 2. So 8.9 will be printed. This will continue up till the value of I reaches 6. When it reaches 6, I will print length, right? After that, I will increase the value of I. It will become 7. Now the control will come to the while loop. I will check whether 7 is less than 7. Now it is false. So the while loop will finish. So now you can see we have done printing the entire content of the list. Alright, so now let us run this. So here you can see the while loop is printing all the content of list 1. So that's all for this session. In the next session, we will see the built-in functions with a list. Okay, so see you in the next session. Bye.